Okay, let me officially welcome all of you to another one of our co-founder, I'm not co-founder, I'm sorry, business opportunity meetings that we do every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm a little bit under the weather, guys, so if I sound stuffy, it's because I am. I got a head cold. So, but I didn't think I was sick enough that I could, cancel the meeting. So I know a lot of you guys appreciate me doing this regardless. So I'm going to hang in there and get through this with you today, even though I'm not feeling 100%. Anyway, so we just got done watching a couple of videos, okay? And let me just kind of review the process that I would use if I was talking to someone about pool funding for the first time, okay? And I appreciate Hunter playing the role that he did earlier in the call where, I was interacting with him. So just a quick review, okay? I would share this poster with him first, okay? And this poster is really packed with quite a bit of important information, enough to make a person go, well, this sounds like an offer too good to refuse, right? And that's what you're looking for, is for them to feel like, well, so far it looks like an offer I can't refuse. Because we're asking them to take a look, okay, at a business opportunity, and that we will provide the funding to get started. So for them, you'll receive hundreds of dollars your first week without any expense coming out of your pocket to join us. Later on, we define that as $777, okay, in the first week. And it wouldn't cost anything to get started out of pocket. Plus, this business takes very little time to operate, as little time as it takes to make toast, as the one video says. And then, wow, that's powerful. Okay. So we put this underneath the nose of someone to find out if they're, open or not open, right? Not everybody is going to be open. And why spend more than 45 seconds on somebody if they're not open? What do you guys think about that? Let me get a little feedback from the group here. What do you think about the idea of not pushing it? Like just spend 45 seconds with a poster, see if they're open, and if they're not open, move on to the next person. You guys like that idea or don't like the idea?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So use this as a filter, right? This poster is really your first filter to find out if they're worth your time to spend talking to them about something. Because what a great offer. We're offering them, something that's nothing out of pocket. It doesn't take a lot of their time, but they have an opportunity to benefit immediately in their first week. So it says it all right in that poster. And then if they are open, then you want to get them more information. So you would take them over to our YouTube channel here, which over the last year and a
We will
half,
give you
we've been
$777.
we've been doing this. Sorry, we've got almost 400 videos now here. Okay, so we're putting a video up every other day practically. Okay, so we click on videos and we're looking for the one that kind of matches the poster here, and it's called Big Money at Zero Risk. Okay, and we play that. That's literally a 1 minute video, guys. 1 minute to watch that. 1 minute, 19 seconds. Very, very short to the point. And what that video is going to do is it's going to help them see the credibility that we actually have a solid system, and it kind of hits the high points of what's great about our system. Okay. And so if they can manage to get through a 1 minute video like that with you, and and you can see that the information is starting to lighten them up or get them excited, then they're ready to hear about our 777 giveaway. Okay. Now it takes a week to do that, by the way. And I'm going to show you something here in a moment, but it's basically $111 every day for 7 days. Okay. So we're going to come back to that. But at the end of that one video, it says get started for free. And I always like follow up with, well, it's better than getting started with for free. Why don't we pay you to get started? How's that sound? Well, it sounds even better. Okay, great. So now you're moving them along nicely. Okay, from you know, introduction, the poster, video, a little bit of credibility, and then over to now the meat of the operation, which is our giveaway, 777 giveaway. Because in that 777 video giveaway, just to show it to you here, it's at the top of the channel. So right at the very top of the channel, you have it here. Okay, it's always there.
You're not sharing.
Oh, I thought I was sharing. Let me open up my Zoom, share screen. Okay, so then you have the 777 at the very top here. So it's pinned at the top. Okay, so we're leading with that. And this was only a 2.5 minute video, but basically it lays out a roadmap in a matter of 2.5 minutes. It tells you about everything, including becoming a co-founder and everything that we're trying to do here. Okay. So in that 777 video, they learned that they're going to get $777 their first week. Okay. Now this is not money that you can run off to the grocery store and buy groceries with immediately. It's not like that. It's not that kind of giveaway. Okay. It's basically a giveaway that leads them to the evidence that we have a system and a business opportunity that works, okay, that functions, and that they can benefit from that. And it doesn't have to take a lot of their time. Okay. And so that's what we're demonstrating with this the giveaway. And then after I've kind of covered a few high points with them, and I'm going to go into the website after I've shown the person the website and basically some pieces of information there. I would then ask them, what's better than a 777 giveaway is a $3,000 a month giveaway. How's that sound? Hunter, how would you respond to that?
That sounds excellent.
All right. Now this is kind of the dream here, okay? Let me show you guys. Share my screen.
I not really believe there's a message here
All right.
around MC.
We've got like background noise. Can you mute them for me, Hunter? Okay. All right, you guys can hear me though, right? Okay. So we have this $3,000 a month giveaway, okay? And that's what if they will bring in one person within their first week, we can get that $3,000 a month giveaway started on their 8th day, on day number 8. If they take longer than a week to bring in one person, then as soon as they do bring in someone, whether it's a month or two later, then that's when you start the $3,000 a month giveaway. Now, say the dream is this. If you look carefully at what's constructed inside of pool funding, what the structure looks like and why it is the way it is and what it is exactly. When you look carefully at it, you come to realize that it's basically a way to give the common person access to a great deal of leverage that would normally not be found in a person's life. So those of you that have been members for a little while, would you agree with that statement that you're accessing leverage inside of pool funding like you've never seen anywhere else? Is that a true statement?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. All right. Anyway, so the dream is imagine being able to spread a $3,000 a month giveaway to a large quantity of people, millions of people, tens of millions of people. I mean, my dream gets bigger than that. So, but imagine being able to do that in a way that it all comes back around where everybody then ends up coming out winning. Okay. And that's the whole point of everything we're doing in pool funding is to be able to give people access to something that they wouldn't otherwise have access to, something unheard of. $3,000 a month is a lot. Okay, you're not going to find that anywhere else, let alone like the initial offer of the 777. That's powerful by itself. But imagine even the people that maybe they're not so good at building a team or whatever, they can still get $3,000 a month, but they got to play by the rules. We have rules to make it all work and function properly. Okay. And at the end of it, everybody comes out ahead because it all works towards a plan. right? Where the idea is all of us get to succeed and not just some of us, like if you look at almost every other opportunity in the world, they're really built on the idea that they expect most people to lose while only some people win in the opportunity. That's how most opportunities are built. Okay. Well, we're a little bit different in the sense that we see the abundance of the nature of money. It's literally being printed out of thin air anyway. I mean, since that's the source that we're working from, right? Then why not have something that can work for everyone, regardless if they got great skill or they got, good connections or whatever, but everybody can still come out ahead. That's kind of the point of pool funding. Okay. So that's my insert today in the presentation. So let me go ahead and share the website with you. All right, here's the website. Okay, what you'll notice when you're on the website is there's these boxes, okay? Now, a brand new person, when they join, their boxes are all empty. So you see these boxes right here? The first one's got 21,000 in it. The last one's got 2,666. Okay, so these are the boxes. And then down here is a transaction history. Okay, when a person gets a brand new account, their boxes are empty. Okay, so what will happen is the sponsor will allow them to use their USDT coin in order for this person to acquire, the pool funding coins. We have three of them. Okay. And we have one for the $100 pool, one for the $10 pool, and one for the $1 pool. So we have three different coins in the market, and you need USDT in order to pay for them. Okay. So basically, the sponsor would send $111 to their new sign up, or what we might call a referral. And then the referral then would use that to go ahead and purchase the coin. There's a little button here. Mine doesn't show the button because it disappears for 20 hours. You can only use the button once every 20 hours, So they click on the button and then it opens up the wallet where the USDT provided by the sponsors in there. And then it will take that and it will then bring in coins. So in this case, where it says PFS Holdings, okay? So you get $100 here, okay? On the $10 pool. It says PFB Holdings, you get $10 there, right? So you're using the USDT provided by your sponsor, okay? Now, the best part about this is all of this is based on 100% commission, okay? That's what makes this work so magically, okay? And the fact that the sponsor is providing the funds in order for you to acquire these coins that are going to appreciate in value, but it's not really any cost to them to really do that because they, as soon as you click the button to pay for the coin, then the coin's going to the USDT is going to go straight back to the sponsor. So maybe the sponsor's out $111 for a few minutes. Of course, we teach that you should never do this with someone you don't completely trust, right? And there's several things you can do to establish trust before you just send someone $111, right? In other words, if you don't really know the person, we have additional training that we'd want you to follow to build trust before you do this. But anyway, the $111 goes to the referral. The referral uses it to get $111 a coin, which is going to appreciate in value over time. And then the in the process of doing that, the 111 gets returned back to the sponsor, so they're really not out anything for that long at all. Okay, so they get their money right back, and everybody's happy. Now, if a person brings in someone within their first week to do the same thing, then we'd want them to get something we call a tool. We call it the $111 tool. So this is where maybe they got started for free, but this is where now they're going to reach in their own pocket enough to buy this tool. So they have one for themselves. So everybody should have their own tool so they can do the same thing and duplicate. Okay. So, but in the first week, we've demonstrated the power of what we're doing, and it either makes sense to someone or it doesn't. If it doesn't, on day 8, we end it. You know, there's no more giving of coin. There's no more payments being made. Um, all that. So, it's basically a 1 week trial period where we're basically, establishing whether the relationship is going to be a long-term functional relationship or not. Okay. And so the person that is willing and starts to see the beauty of what we're offering here with all the leverage built in, and they start to see the big picture of what this is going to be for them, they shouldn't have a problem coming up with a little bit of money on their own and paying for their own tool so that they could then in turn take care of their referrals, right? I mean, you could use the same tool with 10 different referrals, right? You could just at 9 o'clock, you could do it with your first referral. At 9:15, you could do it with your second referral. At 9:30, you could do it with your third referral, and so on, right? You could just kind of schedule them. So you can use the same tool over and over and over and over again in order for them, for your referrals to be able to gain these coins. Okay. Now, we're doing as much as we can to reduce or eliminate selling on the coins that we have in the market, as well as we're doing as much as we can to promote people making a purchase or buying these coins in the market, which then, because we keep the supply very, very tight, with that one thing, that's the one thing we have the most control over is the supply. Then that ends up getting some very high coin prices. I think our cheapest coin is around $3,000, right? And I think our most expensive coin right now is around $700,000. So, but we want all of the coins to end up in the millions of dollars each one in a shorter period of time as possible. Okay. Now, if you think about taking a ride on something that starts out, low like that, a couple thousand, and ends up becoming worth $500,000, for example, that's a very big opportunity all by itself, as far as equity is concerned. Building up equity in something that is appreciating in value. So why would you ever want to sell something that appreciates like that, right? So anyway, all of this does work with one condition, and that is training. So we will show you a path. Let me put it in front of you now. Here's a path. This path here will get you to millionaire status in less than a year. So most of us would like to make money. Millionaire status would be something that's a nice round number, right? So if you're making $90,000 a month out of the $1,000 pool, okay, if you got 3,000 a day coming in, that works out to be 90,000 a month. If you could get to the point where you've got you and plus 4 referrals in the pool there with you, you're a millionaire. Okay. So it's all about saving and scaling, but the pathway to making that happen is training. Okay. It will take training. So let me make it very clear. If you want to maximize what you're going to benefit here in pool funding, you want to set aside about 5 hours a week of your time just dedicated to training alone. Okay. Because if you do that, you'll have plenty of things to go through, and in fact, we're developing a course. So right now we've got a bunch of videos, we got meetings like the, like Zoom meetings that we do, live trainings. We have that right now, but it's all gonna, evolve and develop also into a course. But 5 hours a week, and in less than a year, 5 hours a week, become a millionaire by just implementing what you're trained to do. Okay. And if everybody does that, then it can, the results can be the same for everyone. Okay. So it really doesn't matter. There's, different obstacles for different people, different things that people need to overcome. Okay. Doesn't matter. Through training, there'll be a way, right? It's you have to have the training. So a lot of pool funding is so different that it's hard for people to really understand it. It takes them because it's so different than any other business opportunity out there. Unlike other business opportunities where you got to buy something first before you can sell it, we're putting you in a position as a co-founder that you're literally selling coin out of the website and you get 100% commission on it, that a coin that you never purchased. That's leverage. Again, leverage. Leverage is the big key here. Okay, this is what's going to create wealth. This is how we can get you through wherever you're at to millionaire status in such a short period of time. Will everybody do it? No, not everybody will dedicate 5 hours a week. Not everybody will do that, right? So it really depends on those that will. Okay, those that are willing and will, they'll find that this grows very quickly, and it's very easy to promote it, and it's fun, and the money comes in. Okay, and then the equity that comes first. You're accumulating mass quantities of equity on the front end of this thing, like nothing else. I mean, I don't even know what to compare it to, but you're getting mountains of equity on the front end, and then your commissions will start to get bigger and bigger, as you go month by month. But again, it only takes 4 people to reach millionaire status, 4 personal referrals. What if you had 10 personal referrals? What are the possibilities here? Okay. So I would say that if this is your first time looking at pool funding, I am the founder, I'm the creator of pool funding, and I've been pretty clear why I put this together. I have a dream for humanity. I see the trap that's been laid for humanity, and pool funding is a way for all of us to escape. We could do it through mass cooperation. Mass cooperation, we can just walk away from a system that just wants to bleed us out into a system that wants to pump us full of abundance and prosperity. Okay. So it's just a matter of shifting and doing things that build instead of things that yeah, and just everything about the financial system, the way I see it, it's just wrong. You know, I mean, if you look at what we're doing with all of our time to for chasing after money, and then they take something that literally they're printing it out of thin air. Okay, when you walk into a bank, they don't have the $100,000 for the new car you want to buy sitting there, okay, in the vault. Okay, it's not there. But you sign a piece of paper for $100,000 loan, and then poof, magically the money just appears. And now the bank gets to charge you interest on money that just came into existence, right? Because it's a system. But I don't think it's the system that really serves humanity. And I think we're seeing like we're at the point of maturity. We're seeing the system at its most mature moment right now. And if you can see what I can see, you can see there's trouble. And unfortunately, that trouble doesn't just impact the banks or the corporations. It impacts the people. You and I are impacted by what is happening here. So pool funding is basically a lifeline, a way for us to group together and to go a different way. We know the market works. It's been working for thousands of years. We know that's where all the money's at. So basically, because we're market based, it gives us the power to leverage what's happening in the market anyway, in order to create, circulation within our group, and have that group become very, very large. Okay. a large group will have something called collective bargaining power. Okay, so that's also part of the dream. So, um, so basically, a world where people are enjoying a $3,000 a month giveaway until they don't need it anymore, and they're part of a large group that's gaining in its power to have collective bargaining power. And now we're talking about something that is world changing in a positive way. And we're looking for 10,000 co-founders to be at the front of this thing. Okay, so it's not just a dictatorship run by one person. Okay, but it's something that we value the input of our members, and we want everyone to be happy with what we're building together. Okay. So that's it. That's my presentation. Hunter, did I leave anything out? Did I miss anything today?
Nope.
I covered it all this time.
Yep. Pretty much covered
And I
everything.
did it when I'm sick. How about that?
How about that?
I'm fighting off the sniffles and everything here. So, all right. Okay, well, I could open it up for some commentary, for a few minutes if you guys would like to do that. We can you just unmute if you want to say something, or if you want to ask a question. I'm willing to hang out for a few more minutes, and we do like maybe a Q&A here at the end here. So you can check the chat. Sometimes people write things on the chat. Good. Well, I do see some new names here, and I appreciate you guys being here. Those that are new, looking at this for the first time. Anybody want to do a shout out to anybody while they've got maybe their guests are here? They want to do a shout out to them?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out for Phil Heinz. He's from Arizona. This is his first
Hi,
look at
hi,
pool
Phil.
funding. So
All
if you got any questions, Phil, fire away.
I want to shout out my newest, member from Baguio City, Marie Basilan. Hi, Marie. Welcome sa Pole Funding, and I hope you understand what our founder said. So keep on joining the training so that you will more knowledgeable to recruits more, or to bring referrals from your own. Hi, Marie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rosalie. Rosalie's got a pretty large team. She's a Filipino here in the Philippines, and I would say at this point about half of our members are Filipinos. Some of them are what they call overseas workers, or what they call OFWs. They don't live in the Philippines, but they've gone somewhere else in the world to work, because better paying jobs are outside of the country, and there's a big need for money in the Philippines. Unfortunately, this country considers $10 a day a good paying job. Like if you're working in an office building and you have an office job, you get paid $10 a day, US dollars. That's considered good pay. And if you're American like myself, you're thinking, wow, how does someone even survive on $10 a day? It's almost unfathomable. And I live here. I see how they do it, but it's not fun. It's not fun to only live on that much money. So there's a big need. So a lot of these guys they'll leave the country, and then they'll send money back. So like they take half what they make and they send it back to their family to help support the family. And you have to give credit where credit's due when it comes to this mindset of willingness to take care of your own. These people that will sacrifice themselves, go be alone somewhere in some other country all by themselves at a job, take half what they make and send it back to their family in the Philippines, just so that they can get by a little better. You know, uh, this is the kind of spirit we're talking about. That pool funding is kind of built on that same spirit of like, hey, if we could group together and help each other, imagine what we could do. Imagine how much better everybody's going to be if we do it like that. So thank you, Rosalie. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Well, it was a good meeting. We normally like to end these with like a, goodbye to everyone. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys unmute now and say bye, everybody, and then that'll be the meeting. And thank you for coming again. We appreciate you. I'm gonna go lay down.
Feel better, Ace.
Yeah,
Feel
get
better.
well soon.
Go get some rest. But
Thank
goodbye,
you.
everybody.
Take
Bye-bye.
Good night,
care.
everyone.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Feel
Bye,
better,
everyone.
Ace.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.